This is an independent creator that is in my Telegram group. She calls herself Amelia Ground. Amelia in the Woods is her primary Instagram. I think she's got a few other socials. Amelia has a 3.88 VTFR. This is absolutely fucking insane. This means that for the last 200 pieces of content that she has posted on Instagram, despite only having 159,000 views, she's got 123 million views off of those. So the same number as, like, even more than Isla, same number as Real Rivals TV. Only like a third of the number of Camila Araujo and Sophie Rain, who have like almost 10x her following size. Insane. So super impressive numbers here. 3.88 VTFR is absolutely nuts. She's got 159,000 followers. I think she actually just hit 160 today, so I'll change that. And she's getting, but off of this 160,000 followers, she's getting an average of 617,000 views per post. And again, if you scroll through here, you're not going to see a ton of like, oh, there's 1 million views. Oh, there's 10 million views. That's not the goal anymore. Right now, what this tells me, like what this very high average performance is much, much better than like the spiky, oops, I hope I hit a trend. Like I hope I get like a crazy banger reel that a bunch of people see. Because the reality is that, let's say you do get a reel that pops off and gets 100 million views. There's absolutely no guarantee that that's going to result in an increase in conversions, because you're 100 million people seeing your content, maybe like 0.01% of them are actually going to be interested in the creator. And then like a way smaller, a 0.01 of that 0.01% are going to actually convert to OnlyFans subscribers if you're lucky. Because you're casting a really wide net, you're unlikely to reach people that are actually interested in the specific content that your creator is trying to create. So whether Amelia like understands this or she's just like doing her own thing, it doesn't really matter. Like the proof is in the pudding that the fact that she's completely dialed in and only does content related to her niche is the reason that her content is so insanely performant. So why does this work? She does like off-grid content, which first of all is a really cool niche. So all of her content, I'll just show you. We'll do a quick sort here so we can see the most performant. Again, with the off-grid niche, it's something that is typically male dominated. So most of the influencers that are doing like off-grid living content are either, they look like they're, homeless guys that are like filming themselves crawling into moose carcasses in negative degree weather. You've got like the Mormon guy, I forget the YouTuber's name, but he's like he's insanely popular on YouTube. He does like outdoor survival content. Or you have like lumberjack looking dudes that are like jacked, shirtless, chopping wood in the forest. And so again, Amelia has this competitive edge in that she is bringing this soft, feminine, aesthetically pleasing take on the off-grid niche. And so again, you have guys that are scrolling through that are interested in this type of content, that like they're used to seeing the jacked lumberjack. They're used to seeing the homeless guy crawling into the moose carcass. And then suddenly it's like, oh, I have this thin, young, attractive girl that's doing all of this stuff that I'm super interested in. This fucking rules. Yeah, you've got this combination of this attractive girl plus very interesting, very unconventional lifestyle that a lot of people find really appealing. And the additional unexpected upside of this is that, again, she gets to make content that she enjoys, but she also, let's watch a couple pieces here. So this one has 3.2 million views. And it's just text over B-roll. Most of her content is just text over B-roll with like the camera panning up her body, or she's chopping wood, or she's like doing something related to keeping her property like stable, setting fires and stuff like that. So this is just text over B-roll with a long caption. And like a majority of her content is like that. This content is really, really easy to make. And the reason that this works, like typically this is not something that I would advocate for. So like this doesn't work if you have a creator that's just like, I'm 18 and cute and I'm gonna, like, you're doing the same text over B-roll trends as every single other person. She's doing text over B-roll that is specifically related to her niche. And then if you look, like the environment is so cool. I call this is a concept that I like try to drill into anybody on my creative team. I call this letting the camera do the work. So rather than relying on like super like crazy editing tricks to make the content interesting, or making super complicated like multi-shot videos, she's just like in a cool environment, she's doing cool stuff, and like there doesn't need to be a ton of substance to the content. Like it doesn't need to be overly complicated because people are just interested in this like basic format. So let's watch another one. This is just her, I think, chopping wood. Oops, let's refresh.
Like a butterfly, as soft and gentle as a sigh.
Like very simple stuff, but this has 1.4 million views. Like she's 10xing her followers on super simple content. So if you have a creator that like doesn't have a super complicated camera setup, or you don't have editing resources, you can do text. Like she's proof that you can do text over B-roll and make it work. You just have to make sure that whatever's going on in the frame is really cool and really interesting. And as somebody pointed out, Afraid8764, she's faceless. This is a faceless creator with pulling these kinds of numbers. Like, it's insane. So again, this is the power of niche. This is the power of like finding and exploring a content vertical that very few, if any other people are doing, and like dominating and owning that niche. This is what a monopoly looks like. So I don't know what her back-end numbers look like on her OnlyFans. I'm sure she's crushing it, but again, this is an independent creator. Like, this is not agency managed. She's coming up with all this stuff on her own. She's shooting most of this stuff by herself. I think she has a cameraman in some of these, but like 99% of her content is just her plus a tripod doing stuff in the woods. One thing that I will say, I know that I like try to advocate against like relying on over sexuality or like physicality. She does lean very hard into kind of like sensuousness and seduction, just in the way that she moves and the outfits that she's wearing. Like she's in like underwear or like really skimpy clothing in a lot of these, but she does it in a way that feels very natural and grounded in nature, which obviously fits with the content, as opposed to like the plasticky manufactured sexuality that kind of dominates social media today. She's like like an anti-Kardashian, which I think people also find very appealing. And part of that is environmental, because she's obviously like deep in the woods doing this stuff. She's got like something woodsy or cabiny in the back, every single one of her reels, right? Like without exception, there's something, it's a cool, beautiful outdoors environment. Zero exceptions. This is the kind of like consistency when you find a niche that like is when you get really dialed in, this is the type of consistency that you want. Like every single one of these frames is visually appealing. She's in a cool environment. Like this is the stuff that matters. And yeah, I mean, like I think a lot of this speaks for herself. The last like kind of point that I'm going to dig on here is music. I don't know, I should have saved a couple of reels, but her music choice is really good because she does a lot of like old country, like Hank Williams Jr. I think there's a John Prine song somewhere in here. And so the music choice also connects with her audience because it demonstrates a level of like cultural understanding. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this conceptually. It's something like everything is fire. If you think about content in terms of like layers of like how many different angles can you hit to make sure that your target audience really deeply believes that you like understand them, and she's nailing all of them on the level of visual, on the level of lifestyle, on the level of content, on the level of audio. Like it's all dialed in. And so yeah, she's absolutely crushing it on Instagram. I'm not sure she might be listening right now, she might not. I'm not sure what kind of time or resources that she has. I think one thing that she would really benefit from is developing a presence on YouTube. I think her content is naturally really well suited to YouTube, like long form, doing like lifestyle content, maybe her perspective on what goes into a day or a week on her property, why she chose this lifestyle, stuff like that. And so if you're managing a similar creator, or you have a creator with similar interests, or whatever your creator's interests are, once you've got it to a point where like the Instagram is this performant and it can kind of like, you know, like she clearly has a good enough idea of what she's doing that she can just push out a bunch of content. She can probably batch shoot like 10 reels a day if she wants to. Once you are at that stage and you're looking for like a level up in marketing, that's when you start thinking about, how do I incorporate another platform? In her case, I think YouTube would probably be the best bet. If you want to get absolutely cracked at organic social media for OnlyFans, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel, because that is all I talk about, and you will not find this level of depth anywhere else on YouTube. Also, check out my website, facelessfrancis.com, which has tons of valuable free resources for both agencies and creators, the waitlist for my upcoming marketing course, as well as my free Telegram community, all of which is linked in the description. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.